several minute break just to warm his hands up. As you'll note, we are in Sweden, where it is 0 degrees. Basically, I looked at the temperature before I was coming here, and it said none. There's just not a temperature.
There's not a temperature in
No
this
degrees
country.
right now.
Yeah. It's so cold.
It is freezing here. So, and of course, if you didn't know this, adrenaline and all the pressure and all the nervousness, it makes your arteries a little tighter, constricts your blood flow, so your hands get really cold. Anyone else ever gotten cold hands when they're playing and they're nervous? Give a cheer if you've ever gotten cold hands. I'm curious, because my hands always get freezing when that happens. Yeah, so he is taking just a few minute breaks to warm his hands up.
What do you reckon he's going to do? Is he going to put gloves, or is he going to go to the toilet and turn the hot tap on?
I think he's just going to punch a solid concrete wall until his fingers feel nice and warm, and he returns to the keyboard with bloody knuckles, and OGSTop will be like, wow, that's not how we do it in Korea.
This is how we do it in France?
Yeah, punch the wall with the concrete. It feels very warm. So, anyways, it looks like, wow, yeah, you know, I think both players did a key thing in each game that really helped them with the win. I think that double Viking play in the first game was really OGSTop's ticket to the success.
And he had actually the critical amount of Vikings, one volley from each Viking.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had the right amount, just took down one Colossus. And obviously he's trained that and been like, okay, 7 Vikings don't do it, I'll try with 8, I'll try with 9. 10's the magic number. He takes down that Colossus.
Yeah.
And then in the second game as well, AdelScott, the way he took that gold, he saw the factory was on the natural and was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just take the gold. It's no problem.
Yeah, you know, AdelScott, I think, had a very good general game sense. I mean, as we've seen, he does tend to break free from the, traditional norms, showing how strong those gateway units can be, and in particular the Warp Prism harass. It's almost so obvious on that map. That's one of the first things that I think every player did when they installed StarCraft 2 is just warp things in with a Warp Prism and feel cool. And then everyone said, all right, I guess I have to make the Colossus. But in AdelScott's case, no, just going straight for the Warp Prism harass.
And it looks like AdelScott is ready to go. He says, damn, I've got cold hands, but he is good to go. And we're going to get this game underway. The third map, the deciding map for this game, is going to be MAdelScott.
And it looks like both players are ready. There's the good luck and the have fun. If you would like the Flying Frenchman AdelScott to win this game and head on to the semifinals, give a cheer for AdelScott.
And if you'd like Korean pride to shine through, please make some noise for OGSTop.
And oh, baby, I'm honestly feeling like I'm in for a treat. We do have in the north position AdelScott. Probes doing their own thing.
Getting a little dizzy.
Oopsies.
And make a mistake?
So it looks like AdelScott spawning in the north position as the red Protoss. A little misclick there with his probes. And in fact, look at the production. Look at how far behind he is on that extra worker count with that misclick. But it's okay, because in the cross-map position is his opponent, OGSTop, as the blue Terran.
And I'm just thinking, if we compare StarCraft 2 to Brood War for a second in terms of international tournaments, and when a Korean travels to BlizzCon, when they travel to WCG, they actually hardly ever lose versus a foreigner as such. And in this tournament, he's gone and dropped the game versus AdelScott. And it really does show that as soon as StarCraft 2 was released, everyone started on this level playing field.
Yeah.
And therefore, a lot of players do have equal opportunities to go. And then we've seen it in the GSL as well. We've seen people like Hydra take down Koreans, Ret taking down Koreans. And it's really interesting to see this. And it makes it more exciting as an esport where internationally we can compete with the Koreans. And we're seeing it in this game. And AdelScott might even have the opportunity to knock OGSTop out of this tournament in this game.
Absolutely. And with these cross-map positions, it's going to be a lot of freedom for both players. Again, I'm a little bit surprised at the fact that neither have sent out a scout worker. It looks like AdelScott is getting a very late gas geyser. It looks like he's going to gear up to get one on 15 gas. No need to get it too much sooner, as he just probably wants to get the Warp Gate and Stalker upgrade.
Yeah, AdelScott always chooses not to scout. In every game we've seen today, he just doesn't scout until a lot later on. And he actually can't scout. If he doesn't scout early, he's not going to scout at all. Because if he does send it out afterwards, there's going to be 2 Marines. Another misclick by AdelScott there. But if he does send out the probe later on, there are going to be Marines there just to deny it, so it's not even worth it. Kind of an interesting play, especially because it's so hard for Protoss to actually scout what's going on, because you obviously need the observer route. to see what's going on. And it's kind of key to see what add-on is on the barracks at all times. Has he gone for the second refinery? You can kind of get these details quite early on with the probe.
Definitely, and we do see in OGSTop's base, he is just getting 2 Mariners, getting that Essential Mule Supply Depot down as well. Not going to do anything big yet. Probably going to be throwing down a Tech Lab upgrade.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to go for the standard build. Here comes a Tech Lab, and then he usually goes into the Marauder with the Shell upgrade, and then takes his expansion, which is kind of safe on this map, especially cross position.
Yeah, and it looks like we do see that Stalker is coming out right now. No Warp Gate at this point in time. Yeah, that does seem to me like a little bit of a mistake, and honestly, there's been 2 big blunders by AdelScott at this phase of the game. He has accidentally misclicked his probes twice now, and honestly, looking at the APM, we see that AdelScott, who normally was playing at around 120 at the peak of action in a lot of his games, was up to 200 at the start. I think the adrenaline is really affecting his focus.
You gotta consider the pressure of playing in this also. He is 1 game away from advancing into the semi-finals, and considering people before he came into this tournament didn't even expect him to get through the group stages.
Yeah.
And he actually decides to put down the Nexus knowing, well, he doesn't actually know anything. If we look in the radar of his view, he doesn't know what's going on, but decides to put down this Nexus. Cautious play, but he is going to move in here and see this Marauder and these 2 Marines and expect the command center. Does see the command center there. Shell's not quite done yet, so he is going to get this Stalk out there alive. Yeah,
it looks like the standard 1 Gate Expo from AdelScott, the 1 Racks Expo from OGSTop. Looks like OGSTop is thinking about moving out quite early, just relying on that concussive shell to pick off any units. The Stalker is fast. It will be able to get home relatively quickly. AdelScott chrono boosting the Warp Gates and getting 2 more gateways of his own and 2 in the Gas Geyser. AdelScott
making a couple mistakes. Pressure get into him in this quarterfinal, and OGSTop is moving out just with that handful of units, a couple Marauders, a couple of Marines. Not sure how much damage he can do, though. I don't know, he's a Stalker. With the shells, though, he could do a lot of damage, and he's going to move in. He does have this, and he is going to be building a bunker down, and with the shells, he might be able to pick off this Stalker. There he grabs it, and this Stalker's going to go down, and this is huge because that bunker is going to complete also.
And it looks like he's now moving down with probes and a Zealot. He doesn't have enough energy. He can't really throw down in a good spot. His Warp Gates have just now finished. We can begin making some more units, and it looks like he's trying to pick off the Zealot as best he can, and no, it looks like AdelScott is in such an awkward situation very early in this starting match. A little bit of mistakes at the start of the game ended up coming back to haunt him, but he is just going to play calmly, get his Warp Gates up. The game is by no means over right now.
It's definitely no means over, and OGSTop isn't really going to follow this up. He's comfortable with the position he's created for himself. He's getting the standard 2-backs with the reactors. He's just trying to do a lot of pressure with this. He does lose that extra Marauder, unfortunately, and he is just going to salvage his bunker and move back, but that does create a lot of pressure for AdelScott, forcing him to make more mistakes where OGSTop is just sitting in his base, macroing away like he loves to do.
Yeah, and it looks like OGSTop is about 10 food behind his opponent. Wow, that's kind of impressive to me that AdelScott was actually still ahead after that battle in the unit counting station. We do see that AdelScott is also somehow ahead in the worker count.